together plugged in for the guys out there. So now we can actually hear what that sounds like, and this is exactly what happened in the Mark Adams video. And I picked up the bass and started playing the bass a different way. So what happened is I started to, and this is what I want to call it, double slap. I started to double slap the bass. So I was slapping like this and like this. Slapping in front and behind. And when that happens, and when you do that, you get 2 notes. You can get more notes if you slap it more, but we're just going to stick to 2 notes. So now we're going to play the world's, hopefully, first ever double slap. All I'm doing is slapping the back of the bass. So you can hear that. So when I want to play a damp chord now, using the pedal, instead of having to go through trying to learn that now, I can play it like this. And I can control it a lot better. I can actually control the tempo of it. Can you hear that, guys? I can do it fast. And it will still come out. So this is called double slapping. Now see the guy on bass chat. And don't do it too hard. You don't have to do it hard. You find a sweet spot. You just literally have to tap the bass. Just like linear. You don't have to do it hard. You find a sweet spot. You just literally have to tap the bass. Just like linear tapping on the front. And then finally E, which everybody likes. And so we can do a triplet now, where we could only play kind of hammer on before. So now we can play the whole triplet and come right the way round on the B. Imagine Bootsy and those guys when they see the video. Let's say you're someone like Billy Sheen, and hopefully Billy Sheen will see this video. Someone, calls Billy Sheen and say, Billy Sheen, there's a guy on the internet who's trying to leave a message to you about playing bass. Billy Sheen is always on about trying to get the most sustain out of the bass as possible. So this method is a way, without using machines or amplifiers, all you need is to squeeze out every piece of the sustain. Hear that? A lot of sustain. Now listen, all you need is a strings and bass to get all of the sustain out of your guitar. Let's say Billy Sheen goes to Japan and they make him a bass with a tremendous amount of sustain. Well, he can get all of the sustain out of that bass. He can squeeze out every piece of the sustain by using this technique. Let's have a look at that. So let's say you use Billy Sheen, you play like that. Yeah, that's a lot of sustain. Now listen. Sorry guys. Now I'm forcing all of the sustain out. Hear that? So I play it and then I push more sustain out. And that can be controlled like people like Jimi Hendrix. So it's a way of getting the notes out. Now, and all of the other bass players around the world. Imagine the guy that's just bought his bass and sees this video and has just started to play bass, and he's doing that. into it, and that's his first kind of instances of actually learning the bass. Now obviously I can't go through all of the different kind of techniques and all of the kind of bass lines that you can get from this era when we think in terms of bootsy. That's right, I'm preaching the fun. Still going on. Do you promise the fun? The whole damn. So I've got this really nice thing going on, guys, you know, that you can actually see for Bootsy and those guys out there. And I could go on looking at things in that way. Prince, you know, imagine Prince now playing bass. Imagine you seeing Prince playing bass and you didn't know how he was doing it. How's he doing that? He play it that way. It's just so, you know, and now you can see what it's actually doing to the bass already. How does he play it that way? It's just so. You see for Bootsy and those guys out there. And I could go on looking at things in that way. Prince, you know, imagine Prince now playing bass. Imagine you seeing Prince playing bass and you didn't know how he was doing it. How's he doing that? How does he play it that way? It's just so, you know, and now you can see what it's actually doing to the bass already, guys. And it's not that difficult. So guys, that's E. This is now G, because you know, he's into these kind of ideas, perhaps, maybe, I don't know. So what I'm going to do now is, instead of playing E, the open strings, what I'm going to do now is play G. Stage up of this, or you could argue, being the inventor or the person that actually conceived this, the staircase that I'm going up to, I'm going to leave this with Billy Sheen at this point, where because you know, he's into these kind of ideas, perhaps, maybe, I don't know. So what I'm going to do now is, instead of playing E, the open strings, what I'm going to do now is play G. Can you see my thumb here, guys? That's E. This is now G. Now if my hand is connected to the fretboard, you know, I can't really double thumb. But what I can do is send a shock down my arm in order to create the effect. This is to guys like Billy Sheen, the idea of forcing your own sustain from your own body. Imagine that. You know, I really like this idea. So just look at G. So we're going to play G now, and just try and give it a little bit more sustain. Can you hear I'm forcing all of the sustain out of the bass? I'm holding on, but what I'm doing is I'm shocking, you know, I'm putting energy down into the hand to force it to go in there, and it's forcing more sustain out of the bass. Now, this kind of G technique that I'm using here means that, you know, some of the, you know, it could be limited. It's just another area where this could actually go. It's another way of looking at it. How does he do that? And when you get that kind of feeling, you know, you're looking for a feeling in the bass sometimes, and you want it to go like that. You know, you don't want this hand to do something. You want it to kind of sustain, so you can create your own sustain. You know, imagine Billy Sheen doing that. You know, I'm repeating myself a lot there, guys, but imagine, I really like that, because now this is the very first time I've seen someone come on the internet and show me how to get sustain from my own body.